Or does he have a hollow body? Is that what his is? Because
What?
it's that same
Yeah.
kind of shape.
Yeah. And it worked for me because,
So that's your base?
yeah.
Okay.
But and it didn't have daggers on it or flames or it didn't look scary. It's just a pretty little thing. Oh, where's my water?
You can't like smash it. Yeah.
No, you can't really. When you're playing for kids, it's better if you don't. Yeah. Totally. But this is kind of special. All right, we can. I don't think you. This is like this job. You do. Oh, and where else? You should sit back. Or you can. Give me permission to sit.
Let me do two things.
Sort of be very careful of the cords. I'm a little nervous, but I'll just put them in one spot and then put them away.
That's okay. That's okay. One, two.
Check, 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 check. Oh my golly. Right over here. Make sure it's not. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to B'nai Israel. It's so good to see you. 10 years ago, we lost 20 beautiful children, and we're thinking about that tonight. And we lost not only their words, their voices, their hopes, their dreams, and their creative process. And it's sad. It's very sad. But we choose tonight to bring on board another Newtown student who has used his voice to do amazing things. He has taken Hebrew prayers and he has voiced them with his voice in new melodies of tunes he really loves. He loves bluegrass music. He plays a wild mandolin. You're in for an incredible treat. He plays other instruments too. He plays a lot of instruments. And we are also joined by his mom, and they're an amazing team. So we are very lucky. This is part of Cody's bar mitzvah project. He has been working hard to make these prayers be very meaningful for him, and we hope that you find them meaningful too. So we are going to open with Hine Matov, which you can find on page 128. Some of the melodies are going to be unfamiliar, but they're simple, and we go over and over and over again. And if you're anything like me, they will get in your head, and you will be singing them for days, and you may not. Anyway, they're very catchy. Let me just say that. Is it on? Make sure it's on. Nope, it's on. Okay. Ready. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and again, welcome on behalf of me and Linda Goodman, our Director of Sacred Music. We are, you know what, maybe if I do that, it's better, or I'll just, oh wait, that is better. We're so delighted to have Cody with us and his mom, Bonnie, to help lead worship this evening. In January, Cody will be called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah. And as you can see, an extremely talented mandolin player. He has reworked bluegrass compositions for a few select prayers. And hence, Linda and I have dubbed tonight Bluegrass Shabbat. You've already heard it. When you think about some Jewish music, if you can just listen in your head to what is the normal melody for the Shema, right? Can you hear that in your head? Shema. That's actually a Viennese waltz. And so what, absolutely it is. Sulzer was a Viennese cantor and composer. So what Cody has done is taken some of the music of America and linked it to our most sacred prayers. As Linda and I discussed it tonight, it was also clear that its significance, as Linda has explained, even went beyond Cody's musical skills or his efforts to examine our liturgy and link his Judaism to his developing artistry. For falling within the week of the 10th yahrzeit for those precious students and faculty killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School, we too were part of the radius of those affected by the shooting, and they were known to many within our congregation and community as friends and classmates or schoolmates, as first responders and community members. As Newtowners, Cody and his family likewise embody the remembrance and the resilience that helps to guide and to sustain us. We are a community of caring souls and, I pray, of engaged members. And so in what has become, again, a part of our congregation, kindly turn to your neighbor, particularly if you don't know the neighbor. It's not necessarily to your spouse or your kid. And please wish them a Shabbat Shalom. And if you don't know them, please introduce yourself. Candlelighting is on page 120. I dare say I can't even add up the number of times I've asked you in the last 2 decades. But on this night, their last with us in person, we invite forward Babs and Bobby to lead us this evening in Hadlakat Hanerot, the kindling of the lights of Shabbat, page 120.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who found us in this boat, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Thank you. Please join with me. Baruch
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. On page 138, we continue to welcome Shabbat, Lecha Dodi, pages 138 and 139, verses 1, 2, and 9.
going to read the notes. Okay, then I'm going to keep. We really didn't have adequate rehearsal time, if you can believe that. Cody didn't really need it.
Lechado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. 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 Shamor v'sakor v'dibor echad, Ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litilam. Lechado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat mekuvenecha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mekedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat hila. Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Boli v'shalom ater bala, Gam b'simcha u'sohola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala.
We now turn to page 144, page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Cody?
Yikada, Yikada, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamadi Brahirte, Yami Hahute.
Bechayechon Yomechon Uchayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uvizman Kariv
Yimeru.
Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Me'almaya Yibarach
Yibarak, Vishtabak, Vipar, Viraman, Viet Nase, Viet Hadar, Viet Hale, Viet Halal, Shmei Gudasha,
Brihu
Vilamin, Kovir Hata, Vishir Hata,
Tush Bechata V'nechamata Damiram Yama
Yimeru.
For those who are able, we invite you to rise, the Baruch Hu, page 146.
Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
I read on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravi. And we read together in English on page 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. The Ve'ahavta is on page 154. We join together with Cody. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Emet, page 156. I read towards the bottom of the page. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi chamocha, page 158.
These words go by really fast, and I'm not quite up to saying them all yet, but there's room for yidy-didies and la-la-las and whatever you want to, however you want to participate. It's a lot of fun.
Page 160. Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We turn to page 162 for our prayer for Shabbat.
The what? Oh, okay. All right. Is that better?
Play. Sorry. One more? Play.
Vishamru, top of the page, 162.
Yes, you're fine. Vishamru Israel and HaShabbat Lazot et HaShabbat L'Doratam Beritolam Vishamru B'nei Israel et HaShabbat Lazot et HaShabbat L'Doratam Beritolam Beni Israel Oti Leolam Oti Leolam Vishamru B'nei Israel et HaShabbat Lazot et HaShabbat L'Doratam
השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
Page 164, we invite those who are able to rise for the tefillah. We chant the prayers on the right-hand pages, beginning 164, continuing to page 170. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastevot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'achava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomet Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Bal Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Menit Umechaye, Umatzmiat Yeshua, V'nehemana Tal HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Here is the statement released this week from the CCAR, my rabbinical group, and that of my colleagues such as Rabbi Silver, Rabbis Amy and Andrew Goodman, and Debbie Siegel's nephew, the recently ordained Rabbi Ben Dime. The Central Conference of American Rabbis is alarmed by the increasing normalization of anti-Semitism in American public discourse. The most painful moments in Jewish history teach that anti-Semitic rhetoric leads to violence. We are all too aware of the surge of anti-Semitic incidents since 2017, as documented by the Anti-Defamation League. Failure to reverse the current trend risks even greater danger. Reform rabbis call on all Americans to raise their voices in opposition to anti-Semitism, whatever its source, in all the ugly forms it takes. We urge social media platforms to enforce strong safeguards against all hate speech, including anti-Semitism. We commend President Biden's establishment of an interagency working group to counter anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism, and related forms of bias and discrimination. We applaud those who courageously speak out against anti-Semitism, and we welcome opportunities to partner with others to counter hate of all kinds. CCI rabbis will continue to speak out clearly to combat anti-Semitism. At the same time, Reform rabbis and the communities we serve will most resolutely resist anti-Semitism with joyful fidelity to our faith. We pray that the lights of Hanukkah will pierce the darkness that increasingly pervades the world with hatred. Our own outdoor menorah, to be lit each night and with interfaith allies on Tuesday night, testifies to our Jewish presence, our steadfastness, and our determination. In the interim, treasuring the blessings of peace and human dignity, may this be a time of shalom. Let us be its agents and advocates in a world that so desperately lacks it and needs it. Our prayer, Shalom Rav, page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. Ki atah melech hador lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha livarech et amecha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Olam Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Silent prayer, page 180.
Iuleratson, Imrefi, Imrefi, Vehegyon Ibi Lefanecha, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri Vegoali. Iuleratson, Imrefi, Imrefi, Vehegyon Ibi Lefanecha, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri Vegoali, Adonai Tsuri Vegoali.
We now turn to page, pardon? Microphone. We now turn to page 364. We invite those who are able to rise. We sing Kimetzion as the Torah will be taken from the ark.
Ki Bitzion Tetzei Torah, Ki Bitzion Tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim.
Please be seated. This week's Torah portion begins the tale of Jacob's favorite son, of Joseph. This narrative will continue to the end of the book of Genesis. It begins with Joseph's brothers resenting and nearly killing him. Instead, they sell him into slavery. But Joseph is an achiever. He becomes manager of his master Potiphar's estate and holdings. But things again go sour. Joseph rejects the advances of Potiphar's wife. She accuses him falsely of sexual assault, and he ends up in jail. In the last segment of the portion, the Maftir, which I read tonight, Joseph interprets the dreams of two prisoners, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. Joseph interprets each dream correctly. He asks the cupbearer, who will be released, to remember him, but that will take some time to happen, and other events and dreams will occur first. Our reading tonight, Genesis chapter 40, verses 14 through 23, and our Torah commentary, pages 259 and 260 of the UAHC URJ Torah commentary. And we invite forward Suzanne and Marty for the blessing prior to and after our reading this evening. And we'll be beginning. Oh, yep. Just to touch the, yeah.
Baruch Adonai and Baruch Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch
atah Adonai, roughly along Vaed, Baruch atah Adonai.
Elohim
He
Melech.
still wants to do it the old way.
Asher Kiddushanu
Stop. See, Ivanu.
Now
you threw me off.
Et Torato,
Oh,
Baruch
that's
atah
Adonai, Yosef HaTorah.
Practice doing it our way for the bar mitzvahs.
We are a very inclusive group this evening.
I'm old school.
Ashkenaz, Sepharad, we're totally into both. If you hold right there, the narrative picks up after Joseph has interpreted correctly the dream of the chief cupbearer that he will be restored back to his position. Joseph then says, Ki im zachartani itcha ka'asher yitav lach, and please remember me when it goes well for you. V'asitana imadi chesed, and do for me kindness. V'hizkarti el paro, and remember me, v'hizkartani el paro, and remember me to Pharaoh. V'otzitani min habayit hazeh, and that I may be taken out of this house. Ki gunavti me'eretz ha'ivrim, because I was stolen from the land of the Hebrews. V'gam polo asita mu'uma. And here as well, I've done nothing, ki samu oti babor, that I should be thrown into the dungeon. The Yarsa Ha'ofim, but also when the chief baker saw Ki Tov Patar, how he had interpreted the chief cupbearer's dream, Vayomer El Yosef, he said to Joseph, Af ani chalomi, I also had a dream, V'hine shlosha sole chore al roshi. And behold, there were 3 white stacks of goods on top of my head. Uvasal ha'elyonan, on the top of them, mikol ma'achal paro ma'aseh ofa. There were all of these goods that were baked for the Pharaoh. V'ha'of ochel otam min hatzal me'al roshi. But the birds ate them from the top of the stack on my head. V'yan Yosef, and Joseph responded, V'yomer ze petrono, this is its interpretation. Shloshat hasalim, these 3 stacks, shloshat yamim, 3 days. Hem ba'od shloshat yamim, yisa faro et roshcha me'alecha. In 3 days, Pharaoh will raise your head from you, v'tala otcha al eitz, and hang you on a tree. V'ochel ha'of et basarcha, and the birds will eat your flesh, me'alecha. V'yihi b'yom hashlishi, and it was on the 3rd day, Yom Huledet, the birthday at Paro of Pharaoh, V'yas mishteh, that Pharaoh threw a banquet, l'chol avadav, for all of his servants. V'yisa et rosh zar hamashkin, and he raised up amongst them the chief cupbearer, et rosh zar ha'ofim, and the chief baker, b'toch avadav, from amongst his servants. Vayeshev et sar hamashkin, El Mishkehu, and the chief cupbearer got returned to his position, V'iten hakos al kaf paro, and he would give the cup into the hand of Pharaoh. Ve'etzar ha'ofim, and the chief baker, tala ka'asher patar lahem. He was hung as it had been interpreted for them, Yosef, by Joseph. Below Zachar, Sar Hamashkin et Yosef. But the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, Vishkachehu. He utterly forgot him. And,
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nasa Torah semet, v'chayei olam natav, v'tzadkenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. And thank you. No, not at all. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask that those who are able, we're going to ask you to rise as the Torah itself is now prepared to return to the Ark. The Zohar Torah will be found at the bottom of page 370. Eitz Chaim, he will follow page 374.
V'zot Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Eitz Chaim hi l'machazikim ba V'tom heha meushar derachea darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Please be seated. As we offer the blessing for healing this evening, we are mindful this Shabbat of Sylvia Albert, Phil Feynman, Yvette Mickenberg, the Reverend Ken Frazier, Pat Marignani, Sylvia Rosen, Laura Pickman, Shari Lynn Kochman, Ron Saunders, Bill Tendler, and Elise Weingarten. There are also those people for whom we pray privately, including people over the world fighting COVID-19. For those in our sanctuary, please share aloud the names of people for whom we likewise publicly pray this Shabbat.
Diana Reed, Louis Hill,
Lita Watkins.
And we invite those on Zoom to unmute and say aloud the names of those for whom we also pray this Shabbat.
Jonathan Rips,
Delaney Kring,
For all, may the Holy One send healing and shelter in protection. Our prayer, Misha Berach, page 371. Page 371.
The ones before us, help Mikol Habracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Here's a lesser known, but on reflection, obvious fact about B&B, Bobby and Babs. They also share a first name, Barbara. For 20 years here, they have been an active presence within our midst, amongst our most dedicated service goers and Oneg kibitzers. Babs served on our board, both went to Israel with us. Celebrating their marriage here was an important and inspiring moment. All told, Bobby and Babs have become so much a part of the warp and woof of our congregation and community. And through your work with Hadassah and Heritage Village and inclusion and interfaith efforts, as well as reaching out and caring for so many of us, that the news of these Barbara's permanent move to Florida has yet to fully register, though we expect to remain in close contact via virtual communication and social media. Now, having begun the countdown last week, tonight marks a bittersweet transition, marking your final service in person here. So, as such, I'd like to offer you two blessings. First, the Traveler's Prayer, and then with Linda, the Birkat HaKohanim, our priestly blessing. So I'll ask you to rise. Yehi ratzon melefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu shetochlichenu l'shalom v'tatzidenu l'shalom v'tadrichenu l'shalom. May it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, that you guide Babs and Bobby safely on their journeys. You lead them on the path of peace, that you allow them to reach their desired destination with life, joy, and peace. Protect them from all obstacles along the way, and bestow the blessings of the work of their hands, and grant grace, loving kindness, and compassion to them in the eyes of all whom they encounter along the way. Blessed are you, Adonai, who watches over us in all our journeys. The words of the priestly blessing, I'll be doing the Hebrew, Linda the English. The composition of this blessing is, the music is by Linda. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's countenance be upon you and give you peace.
Amen. Thank you. We turn to page 586 as we start to begin our concluding prayers with the Aleinu. We invite those who are able to rise. Elliot, we're going to call you up to open the Ark. Page 586, the Aleinu that we chant is the second paragraph down on the page. Go right ahead. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Please be seated. Good job. He's a strong young man for anybody who knows those doors. Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 598. At this moment in our service, we now call to mind our own beloved dead. We pray on their behalf. We voice the confidence that they are remembered for blessing. I ask that those in mourning or remembering the anniversary of the death of a loved one to please rise if you are able when their name is mentioned. And this is whether you are in our sanctuary or joining us on Zoom. During Shloshim, we remember Harvey Barron, father of Rich. We remember the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Morris Fleischer, Abraham S. Frost, Max Goodsmith, Samuel H. Greenberg, Rita Idelson, Oscar Kipperman, Naomi Krakow-Cantor, George Levine, Sidney Lieber, Joseph Matskin, Eli Mizell, Karinta Olszewski, Bernard Poland, Philip Rierson, Ferdinand Shatsky, Milton B. Scheibel, Florence Sherman, Irving A. Shimans, Richard G. Trarig, and Ida Hasselkorn Whale. We ask our worshipers in our sanctuary, should you have a dear one to add, to please rise and say their name. We ask our worshipers online, on Zoom, to unmute and add the name of their loved one, should you wish. For those in our sanctuary, should you wish, we invite you to offer a short remembrance of a dear one on our Kaddish list. Please raise your hand for the microphone.
Steve Hopstein was the one that introduced that to me. That's over 52 years ago. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be with Babs. So I have a lot to be grateful for. We've had a wonderful life, and I personally thank him.
We remember the dead associated with the pandemic and the Ukrainian victims of Russia's invasion. And we now name those 26 souls whose lives were taken from them in the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary School 10 years ago. We continue to mourn their deaths and bless their memories. We recall the sudden pain of their deaths and in its aftermath, both the ongoing determination to fashion safer communities and the cynical efforts to deny history. In reciting Kaddish, we determine to link their lives to the source of life and to us all. Charlotte Bacon, Danielle Barden, Rachel Davinu, Olivia Engel, Josephine Gay, Dawn Lafferty Hochsprung, Dylan Hockley, Madeline Chu, Catherine Hubbard, Chase Kowalski, Jesse Lewis, Anna Grace Marquez Green, James Mattioli, Grace McDonnell, Anne Marie Murphy, Emily Parker, Jack Pinto, Noah Posner, Carolyn Previti, Jessica Ricos, Aviel Richmond, Lauren Rousseau, Mary Sherlock, Victoria Soto, Benjamin Wheeler, Allison Wyatt. Each Shabbat, we also mention 6 names amongst the 6 million murdered in the Holocaust, the Shoah. This week, we remember Boris Portnoy, Rachilia Portnoy, Avram Polyak, David Shapachnik, Clava Perel, and Lena Millman. In remembrance, in solidarity, and on behalf of those for whom there's no one but us to say Kaddish, we now invite all to rise, if you are able, for our Kaddish prayer, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach chirutei, B'amlich malchutei, B'chaye echod uvyom echod, Uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Zikronam levracha, may their memories be for blessing. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated.
Good evening, all. Thank you for joining us on this Shabbat evening, whether in person or online. Please join us for the oneg after the motzi. We have a special cake for Bobby and Babs. We'll certainly miss seeing them both in person. Bobby and Babs, may this journey bring you joy, happiness, good health, and fulfillment. Thank you, Cody, for the Bluegrass Shabbat. I've been coming to Erev Shabbat services my whole life. That's the past 29 years. And I don't ever remember having to sit on my hands to prevent to not clap at the end of these songs. Thank you, Rabbi and Linda and Bonnie for your participation, and thanks to our Tech Corps maven, Deb Bennett. Good news to share, anyone? Nothing? How about online? Any good news? And please identify yourself by name because we can't see you.
That's good. Yeah. We have a little good news.
Cody, what do you got?
You should tell.
Cody is playing with his music teacher and a whole bunch of other musicians in a concert Sunday from 4 to 6 at the Newtown Congregational Church on West Street. It's a fundraiser. If you want the details, let me know. We can give you the details. But
Good,
very
thank you.
exciting.
Excellent, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Cody. Birthdays, anniversaries? Anyone online? Birthdays, anniversaries? No? Okay. Rabbi will be online to say hello about 8:15. Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 10:30 a.m. Sunday, B'nai Israel Religious School and Introduction to Judaism. Our outdoor menorah lighting each night, 5 p.m., beginning this Sunday night. With the exception of Friday night, the lighting will be just before the service at 7 p.m. On the third night, that's Tuesday the 20th, many interfaith allies will be joining us here. Upcoming sisterhood events, WRJ Fiction and Fine Wine Zoom on December 15th at 8 p.m. and Sisterhood Hanukkah Luncheon on December 21st at 11 a.m. Thanks all for coming tonight. Wonderful to see you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Stephen. For those on Zoom, 8:15 is going to be more like 8:25, 8:30. One other piece of good news, my niece was in the Times today where they're listing 7 breakout artists she made it for the theater. I wrote her that this is a really great thing for our family because usually when we associate breakouts with dermatological conditions that we all have. And so this is really great what she's doing. Julie is hosting the JDC, the first night candle lighting JDC. They're doing a program. It's on the internet. You can find in our communications, sort of scroll down and you'll see about the JDC registration. They're spotlighting the work which the JDC is doing in Ukraine. Julie is singing like a Yiddish and an English Tumba Laika. It's really nice, so feel free to join in. But first, Adon Olam has been done to many, many melodies. And now, and I think certainly a B'nai Israel, if not Jewish people first, the Adon Olam to the bluegrass tune $2 bill. And you'll find Adon Olam on page 625.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yed nazava ketzakol azar melech shemo nivra v'yacharei lod hakol levado yimlod Torah ve'hu haya ve'hu holech ve'yu yeh b'timorah.
Yeah, I hope Kiddush won't be anticlimactic. Page 123 for Kiddush, and we join together with Linda. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzo hikilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom tefillah
למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen.
Amen l'chaim. And Cody, let's have you do the honors of the motzi, and we'll join together with you as you slice the challah. We all sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tevon, may God's presence be with you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom.